Alright, hello and welcome. This is the Fleeger Farm Gaming Community. Coming live to you here. I am today going to talk about, I know I've had a lot of questions with this video particularly, of me driving the two-stick transmission. I like to call it the Spicer transmission. This would be the gearbox I run. Now a lot of guys, they say they run a 6x4, which in turns would be this gearbox. Mine is a 5+4. So this is essentially what I'm running, is the 5-speed main gearbox with a 4-speed auxiliary transmission. Now the way I have this set up is the auxiliary transmission runs like your splitters. So where it be splitter 1 is on, splitter 2 off, that type of thing. We're going to cover that in this video today. So first off, what we're going to need to do is, we'll minimize that a moment. You need to download this controls here. In this controls sci file, and if it don't open by clicking on it that way, you can right click, open with Notepad. Okay, it'll open up. Then you want to go and come in here and go find Gear SEL1 and hit find next, and that'll bring us down to where we need to be. We're going to be down here. Yours will say something completely different. So let's go and jump into our profiles here. So we're going to go in your file manager or file explorer. What's it called? It's called something here. Let me make sure that I got it right here. File explorer. We're going to open that up. We're going to go to your documents, American Truck Simulator, profiles, and then you're going to select whatever profile you want to use this setup in. We're going to go to controls, and again, we're going to have controls. So it should open up. If it don't, again, just right click, open with Notepad, okay. And then we're going to go edit, find Gear SEL1 or Gear SEL1. We're going to find next. And as you can see, this is kind of where mine's set up for this profile. So it's set up to one of my gearboxes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this line here. And we're going to copy. And we're going to paste it here. We want to start right after the asterisk and right before. So we're copying the whole line. Right before, or right after to right before, we're going to copy, and again, come over here, and we're going to hit paste. Now we skip this, we come down to this one here, we copy this, and we're going to paste it here. Oh, I copied, not paste. So we want to come down here to gear selection 2, right after the asterisk to right before the asterisk. Copying right before to right after, and all I'm doing is left clicking and dragging to highlight it, and we're going to paste like that. And now we're going to come over here, copy. I think that don't look right. I'm going to have to adjust that for the upload. But this should say this. So it'll be fixed in the file. For you guys. So once you have that done, we're going to hit save. Now that you have all 4 copied, we're going to hit save. And once you have that saved, the next program you're going to need is we're going to download what we call JoyToKey. So we're going to go to JoyToKey, and it's usually this top one that comes up, JoyToKey, downloads, download the latest version, and I usually just do it right from the server's website, which is joytokey.net. Once we have that downloaded, you should end up with a program that has a symbol similar to this. We open this up. And in here, across the top should be a bunch of joystick labels. When you go, first we're going to want to do is hit options. Make sure that we have all joysticks detected. So if it says 6 joysticks are detected, make sure you have number of joysticks to configure is also 6. If it is not, just highlight it, just click in the box, backspace it, or highlight it, however you want to do it, and just change the number. So now once you have all the joysticks, now you got to play with your joystick you want to use, that you're going to use for your auxiliary transmission, and make sure that you have it. It'll start highlighting as you move through the gears. So now I have mine all set up here. The first one we're going to label as DS, so it's real simple. You just click on it. You click on this one, DS. Okay. So just so I can show you on a disabled one here, we're going to go D and S. So that's essentially what we're doing. And then the next one, button, whatever your next gear area is. So that was my gear. That's slot 1. I'm coming back into slot 2. And that's going to be D and W. Now, because the way this transmission works, if we look at our 5 plus 4 here, on our auxiliary transmission, we go from 1, 2, 3. We come up in our H pattern, over and back down for 3. So in order to achieve this, on our wrong thing here. On our JoyToKey, we're gonna come up into my H, over and back down, so it drops it here. Is where I'm putting ES. So that is my 3rd gear. Now the next gear is 4. So for 4, I'm gonna come straight out of my 3rd and go straight forward. And that's gonna be my 4th gear. And that'll be EW. So you want to make sure you have your JoyToKey gear selections set up this way. So you have DS, DW for 2nd gear, ES for 3rd gear, EW for 4th gear. So once we have that, I like to just make sure that I have everything saved. So I save that. Once we have that, now we can go into our game. It's honestly, it takes a little less time to program it this way, since I now remember how to. It took me a little bit longer to figure it out when I first did it. So we're gonna continue game. And as you've seen in my first video of me driving the twin stick transmission, I really enjoy driving the Kenworth 521 I got from Blueprint Modding. You can find them on Facebook, I believe. It's where I know I found them on Facebook. But I really enjoy that truck. It's also one of the only trucks I know of that have the 2 sticks sitting on the floor, which I'll show you once we get in the cab of the truck. I'll show you the twin sticks I got sitting on the floor. Now, the transmission I'm using is a custom-made 20-speed transmission that I'm not sure if I made it or how I got it to work, but it's essentially a 20-speed transmission. For a 5 plus 4, that's 20. If you're running a 5 plus 3, which I have sometimes done, that is a 15-speed transmission. And if you're wanting to run a true 6x4 transmission, that would be 24 gears you would need. Because each time you add 1 block on your main gearbox, each time you add one set to your main gearbox, that's another set of 4, pretty much, is a way to think of it. So once we have, so I haven't seen any true 6x4 transmissions since they don't have 24 gears. Now, I know some guys have given attempts at it. If they're really wanting to make them pretty well, from what I've done research on, I'm not sure if my research is completely correct. If you're going and shifting up through the gears, you're going to shift into gear 1, which has you have your main gearbox, which is 1 through 5, and your auxiliary, which is 1 through 4. So when you start, you essentially start, and then you can always skip gears, but I almost always starting in 3-1. And then I'll shift the auxiliary box from, so my gears will go 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. And then when I shift up again, I go from 3-4 to 4-2. And the reason I skip 4-1 is because 4-1 is essentially the same gear ratio as 3-4. And they do that so that you don't have to move your sticks when you're going uphill or downhill. You don't have to move 2 sticks very often. It just helps with the flow a little bit of the transmission. It's from my research, is from what I've figured out. So shifting up, you go from, like I said, you go from 3-4 into 4-2, but downshifting, you're gonna shift from, say you're going from 4-4, you're gonna shift all the way down into 4-1, and then you're gonna go and shift down into 3-3. You're gonna skip 3-4. You're gonna go into 3-3, and same thing, simple. Same concept. 3-4 and 4-1 are the same gear ratio. So you can skip that gear on the way down, same way going up. You can skip on the high, So I'll demonstrate that here in a moment. Whenever you get into the game here, we're going to go to controls, and we're going to scroll down to our shift box. You want to make sure that your shifter layout is set for splitter. And just so I can have the feel correct, I always have it on clutch press. And then I always have it set to advanced. Now these 6 positions don't really matter. Those are your 6 main gearbox. So don't have it set to your auxiliary box. Your auxiliary box obviously is a separate gear stick. So this is your main gearbox. Once you get through that, do not, and I repeat, do not change your toggle switches here, because they're set to complex. If you end up taking this complex away, you're going to have to go back to the beginning of part of what we did in the controls file, because the controls file sets these up. Whenever we're in that controls.sci, that's essentially what we're doing. We're routing that there. So there's that. So once we have that all set, you're obviously going to want to make sure that your truck's got either, I got here, this one has a 15-speed transmission. Oh, come on. Are you going to tell me what this truck has? There we go. This one's got a 15-speed in it. And then this one has my custom-made 5 main, 4 auxiliary gearbox. So this is the one we're going to take out for a drive. This is my Kenworth 521 from Blueprint Body. There's the truck from the outside. Now, if we go on the inside, and this is one of the reasons why I like this, I like this truck. Down here on the floor, we have 2 sticks, one for our main, one for our auxiliary. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this up. Let's bring up my GPS over here. We're gonna turn this one off. Well, if I can figure out how to. Where's my? There it is. We're going to turn this one off. That way we don't get distracted. So, up there in the top, you'll see that there's reverse 1, reverse 2, reverse 3, reverse 4. We have 4 reverses in the truck. I don't know if that's true the way it's supposed to be or not. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when we shift up from 4th, we're going to come up into our next one and drop this down into 6th. So we're skipping 5th. Now if I'm downshifting, I will downshift to 5th. And when I come down, I'm skipping 4th. So, and it's just a little bit, so we'll get rolling here. I'm going to actually start in 3-1, which becomes 9th gear. My lights in so I can see my gauges. Get rolling out of this parking lot here. I just shifted down into 3-2, which in turn is 10th gear. If anybody wants to give me tips on how I can rename those gears so they show up correctly, I'm all for it. 3-3, 3-4, 4-2. Ah, come on, drop into 4-2. It is a very fun transmission to drive once you get the hang of it. We're going to make a turn onto the highway here so I can really get this truck up to speed and show you really how to go through the gearbox. So, I'm still sitting in 4-2 at the moment. We're going to get this thing rolling up into the high box now. 4-3. 4-4. Now, I skipped a couple there and I went into 5-3. I skipped 5-1, 5-2 because I know the truck a little bit. And there's 20th, which is in turn 5-4. So that's pretty much what I got for you. If you have any questions, I'm going to try to put my Discord in the description also, along with the other programs and things you might need. That way you guys can find, you can get into Discord and message me there, and I'll try to help you out the best I can. I hope this video was informative on how I went about doing twin stick transmission. So again, I'm downshifting. I'm taking it clear to 5-1. Now I'm going to take it to 4-3. I should drop it a little farther now. Oop, stalled it. That's the other thing I know I'm good at with this truck. I'm good at stalling. I'm still trying to get to where I can start streaming on a regular basis, but it's just not going to be best for me. My PC just doesn't cooperate too well with that. So, again, thank you for watching, and I hope this achieves your goal of sync transmission. Again, thank you, and have a nice day.